Hello, Namaskar, good evening. This is Simran Singh and welcome to NCERT's live interaction. You all are watching us on PM eVidya, channel number 6 to 12, or you might also connect with us through our YouTube channel that you all are well aware of. It is NCERT Official. It's about 4 PM on your watch and it's time for a very special session that we call webinar. It's more special than ever as we are conducting the 5 days online training on teaching learning through learning management system. Before proceeding with today's session, here are slight details that you all need to know while we are conducting such webinar sessions to orient teachers, teacher educators, students and various other stakeholders to inform them about the know-how of learning management system in the entire process of teaching and learning. And after we conclude this session, well, our sessions were from 24th January 2022 to 28th January. So today is the 5th day and at 5 PM sharp, we will be releasing the link of the quiz. Well, that's the most awaited moment, I know, but before that we have some of the details for you. Who all can participate, whether you are a teacher, student, you are any administrator or any teacher educator, you all can participate. That's the best part of our post session activity and quiz. And how you all can participate, we will discuss about it at length towards the end of this session. And we have certain procedures that are already available on CIT website, that is registration. You may find the link on CIT website. Apart from that, you can watch our live training sessions on PM eVidya channel number 6 to 12, or you might also watch our sessions and tell us about your feedback in the comment box of our YouTube channel, that is NCERT Official. Then you can participate in the post session activity. The link will be released at 5 PM and it will be accessible till 10 PM on 28th of January, and you can also participate in the quiz till 20th February 2022. Then you can also submit your feedback. You may find a Google form at CIT website, and if you have any of the queries throughout our sessions about any of the topic, about any of the online training topics, then feel free to write to us at our mail ID that is there on your screen. It is training.helpdesk@cit.nic.in. Besides that, we also have our contact number on your screens. It is 8800440559. So just providing you a program schedule of what we have discussed so far. We discussed about learning management system, policy perspectives, concept, need and scope. Then we also discussed about introduction to Moodle interface, account creation and course design. Then we had our conversation about resources for course enrichment in Moodle. We also discussed about activities for course enrichment in Moodle. And for today's online training, that is the 5th and the concluding day, we have our topic, that is learning management system, security and safety concerns. And to discuss more about that, we are joined by 3 panelists. Let me introduce them to you. We have with us in the studio Dr. Rizaul Karim. Namaskar sir, good evening. Welcome to the session. Sir, is difficulty at CIT NCERT. Besides that, we are also joined by Dr. P. Eshkar Ali. Namaskar sir. Welcome to NCERT.
Okay.
Sir is Assistant Professor at Government Arts and Science College, has joined in from Kerala, and we have our 3rd panelist in the session, Dr. Biju K. Sir is Assistant Professor at Central University of Tamil Nadu. Namaskar sir.
Thank you.
I welcome all the 3 panelists in this online training session, and with that I also welcome all our viewers. Well, if you have any of the questions, any queries, feel free to write to us in the comment box of NCERT Official. Now let's begin today's session on learning management system, security and safety concerns. I would request Dr. Rizaul Karim to please provide us a brief overview of the online training.
Thank you Simran, and good evening all my viewers. I once again welcome you on behalf of CIT NCERT on this live webinar. And as mentioned by Simran, today we are on the 5th and last day, and we have a very interesting topic on learning management system, its security and safety aspects. Before we go into the exact topic of the day, I would like to reiterate what we really mean when we say learning management system, right? So it clearly has 3 aspects. There is this learning, there is its management, and then there is a system through which we manage learning, right? So if you go deeper into the question, what do you mean we mean by learning, right? So the fundamental question is, given the pandemic, given the ongoing COVID pandemic, more and more of us were forced to shift to an online or digital mode of teaching learning, and to a great extent I can say we struggled a lot in the beginning, but over the time, over the months, we could learn ways to adapt to this new and interesting environment modality of online world. And we as a teaching learning community, different stakeholders at our respective levels, we are successfully able to carry out teaching learning process in a digital mode. But when you say learning, we have so many kinds of interactive e-contents, right? We have audio, videos, we have text contents, we have images, we have other interactive contents, animations, simulations, and many, as well as quizzes. So all these individually are called e-contents. But if you give a learner a collection of e-contents placed in somewhere, can learning happen? If there is a repository where lots and lots of learning contents are placed, and if you give access to learners, that you go there and you can easily have an internet connection with fairly good speed, and the learner can access to the content, can we assume that learning happens? Well, to some extent learning happens. Another example is very popular video streaming site YouTube. So many of us go there and learn many aspects, many activities of around the world, many things, many concepts we get clarified from YouTube and many other such platforms, right? But learning from such environment happens only for those who are really motivated. Another aspect is that such learning is not structured. In a span of time, if you ask me how much I have learned from YouTube, it is pretty difficult to figure out. You can find out probably what all videos I watched, but did any learning happen? So as an administrator, as an academician, as a teacher, as a school head, when you talk about learning, probably we talk about a little more than merely being able to disseminate or give access to the learning content. That's why this concept of learning management happens. That we want to say that our understanding is that learning happens when first and foremost requirement is that you need to have e-contents, of course, but then you give structured access, organized paths of traversing those learning materials, and then at intermittent and at intervals, at periodic intervals, there is interesting and innovative and continuous assessment, evaluation, and then reinforcement. Through that, over a period of time, there is this detailed reporting of how much learning has happened, right? So that there can be an evidence of and as well as progress and record of those, like learning has happened through these many tracks, right? So my point here is that a learning management system is a software which allows you to provide access to interesting and innovative teaching learning material that includes contents which facilitate gamified learning, which facilitate micro learning, right? But in addition to those, it allows you to have assessment, right? And build a portfolio, build a profile, right? Make a portfolio of the learner and keep on building, recording of learners' progress, performance in different tasks, different activities, right? A platform which allows you to learn on the go, mobile learning, right? Anytime, anywhere, 24/7 access to learning material at learners' ease, learners' convenience, right? Not only those, a platform, an environment which facilitates discussions, which facilitates forums for discussion, individual discussions, comments, mechanism for giving feedback, sharing feedback, right? So all these combined together as a bundle package is something what we call a learning management system, because as you see, learning has many components, right? So a platform, a robust software which can provide us facility to have all those different aspects of teaching learning process in one single integrated platform or a web software or system, we call it a learning management system, right? And as we know, learning management system can be proprietary. There are n number of learning management systems, However, there are many wonderful open source, interesting open source learning management systems which are really popular, and the most important one of course is Moodle, which you have been, I'm pretty sure, have been going through for the last 4 days, and you must have been very confident now and about different aspects of Moodle, usage of Moodle, benefits and strengths and potential of Moodle, right. Some other wonderful free and open source learning management system include Tutor, Sakai and many others, right. So, before I invite my fellow resource persons to delve more into further details about LMS, their nitty-gritties, their pedagogical importance of LMS and all this. So, I would like to summarize the introduction here by saying that an LMS is something which has broadly 3 components. It allows you to create teaching learning material, it allows you to manage those teaching learning material, and it allows you to evaluate, right. So, these 3 components combined together is an learning management system, right. So, with these words I would like to invite here my fellow resource person Dr. Asghar Ali here, and I'm sure he will have interesting conversation for you regarding how you can come up with a Moodle setup at a school level, at an individual level, right. So, remember that a learning management system can be hosted either on the cloud or in your in-house premises. So, there can be both the options through which you can have a learning management system enabled for your institution, for your organization, right. So, without much further words, I would like to invite my next speaker, Dr. Asghar Ali, to discuss about the aspects of coming up with a platform for an organization, for an institution. So, over to you, Dr. Asghar. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Anyway, we are discussing about the learning management system. We know that in the last few days we have been discussing about the benefits, and we have been developing a course using the Moodle-based learning management system. Now, right now, during these pandemic days, we have been using this type of learning management system. Why? Because a learning management system as such, it's a platform to manage all the aspects of your teaching and learning activities. Now, what actually what you will get from a Moodle-based learning management system? For a learner or for a student, he can use the content at any time, anywhere, and he can navigate through his course. And for an administrator, maybe the managers or the principals, he can get the reporting of the course, and also there are a lot of other benefits. You know that the structure and the hierarchy of the learning management system. We can use the learning management system for the content delivery, right? Both the teachers and the instructors can deliver the content, and even they can progress the tracking. There are features available in the learning management systems to track the progress of the student. And we have last few days we have been discussing about the different features available, and we can give the assignments, we can we can conduct the practical the test examinations, and even we can have different tools for the collaborative activities as well. So anyway, there are a lot of benefits for using a learning management system in an institution. One of the most important thing is it's a centralized pool of information, and it will organize all the learning contents in one location. Maybe if you have a learning management system in your institution, then all the course materials may be available in one location itself. The teacher and all the teachers and the students can access these contents at any time and anywhere. So that is what actually the most benefited thing with respect to a learning management system is. And another benefit is you can have an experience with a blended way of learning. And you can, in the last day, we have experienced such type of interactive learning experience. You can innovate with different pedagogical aspects and different models of teaching and learning. And another thing is it provides you an unlimited access to the e-learning materials all over the world. There is no limit for the content. The teacher can share the best content or the best quality content ever through this platform as well. And anyway, we can track the progress, and we can conduct the tests and assess the contents. Everything is possible here. And if you go into a learning management system, what we can see is, first of all, you need a registration into that learning management system website. And then the teachers want to upload, and they have to, maybe they have to create a course, and they have to design a course, and then they have to enroll the users, maybe the students and the learners. You can enroll the users, and we can conduct the different types of activities, and finally we can track whether the students are progressing or not. And depending on their progress, we can have different learning, we can design different type of learning paths. And finally, we can analyze whether the learning happened or not. And there are Moodle, we have been discussing about the Moodle, and Moodle has a lot of features, like it is easy to customize, and one of the major features with Moodle, it is free and it is open source. And we have the Moodle, which is come with the Moodle mobile app is available, and it will work on both the Android and Apple products itself. And you can use the live engagement. And those are some of the features of the Moodle-based learning management system. Even you can link with different repositories as well, like Dropbox or Flickr or Google Drive. You can connect with the different repositories with your learning management system. Then what actually we can do is both the teacher and the student can pull all the resources or the contents from these repositories into the learning management system or the course page itself. That's also possible. And another one, it is we can restrict the accessibility to different learning materials. Depending on a certain grade, the teacher can release some resource material, or such type of accessibility is also possible. Now let me tell about how we can set up a Moodle-based learning management system in our institution. Is it possible? Is it a Herculean task or not? So we can have, we know that Moodle is an open source one. So that means its code is entirely freely available, and you can download the Moodle software itself, and you don't need to pay anything for the license, and there is no vendor lock-in there. Then that means the entire content, entire source code is free. And it is very secure also. So we have been discussing about the security concerns. It is secure, meaning you may be familiar with the Ubuntu or the Linux-based operating systems. Now we almost all the web service or the web servers uses the Linux-based operating systems. Why? Because it is more secure, because its code is open to all, and all the community or the volunteers or the community developers, they can find any glitches or any bug in the code, then they can fix it easier. So it is very secure again, and we can have the customization. We can customize the entire code and entire the software itself according to the institution. And another big advantage with respect to the Moodle-based open source is it's much more scalable. That means whenever your institution grows, then you can grow the same Moodle itself. That is, it's scalable one. Now, what are the different options available in hosting your Moodle? There are two methods you can adopt. One, it is you can self-hosted Moodle. That means your institution can host the Moodle on your own institution server. That means if your institution has maybe a i5 or a server computer, it's better if you have an i5 or i7 system available in your institution. Then just like what we use Koha library software in our institution, then we can host this software inside that server computer. And if you have the better bandwidth and sufficient bandwidth and some experts is there and administrate some person for the administering all these things, then you can opt to the self-hosted type of Moodle. Then what the benefit is, you can completely manage the entire site and the entire code itself. And you can design and install your own theme and your plugins. Now, this option is not recommended when you have not enough or the sufficient bandwidth, or you do not have any experts or the administrators available in your institution. Then it is not a good option. But if you have the enough bandwidth and enough persons available or the experts available, then you can go with the self-hosted type of Moodle. It is completely free. You don't have to pay anything. Only the thing that you must have a better internet connectivity with your institution. If you do not have such type of enough bandwidth or then or expertise, then you can go with the second option. That is the cloud-based or the VPS-based hosting plans or a dedicated server. That means you can hire a server or you can purchase a cloud space from Amazon or maybe from the third party itself. You can purchase the server, and if you are expert in installing that Moodle, then you can install yourself into that server. Or otherwise you can depend or you can call any other third party experts to install the server and make the Moodle as ready to use. So here, if you are opting for this cloud or the dedicated server-based hosting plan, you don't worry about the bandwidth or you don't need to manage the server, because everything will be managed by the server people itself. Now you have to manage only the what we call it as the Moodle administration, or the what we can do inside the Moodle, and you can have that type of it available. Now if you compare these two types of hosting, maybe if you are self-hosted at server at your institution, then you can see that that thing is completely free. But it will require some experts and manpower to maintain that server. And in this case, that means a self-hosted server or service, the entire data is stored at our own data center or our own computer itself. That means it will ensure more secure. And whereas if it is a cloud-based or VPS-based, then you have to pay for the server. Maybe for an year, maybe they will charge for a server at around 20,000 or 30,000, depending on how the specification is. Now, if you want to scale the Moodle for 1,000 or 10,000, then you have to pay for much more for that server. And then here in the cloud-based hosting, the maintenance is done by the hosting provider itself, so you don't worry about that server maintenance or something like those things. And here the data is stored inside the cloud. Then there is a chance of risk in the data, because maybe the content or the course content, maybe that is another risk with the cloud hosting packages. Now, if you are going to implement your learning management system in your institution, what you have to do is you must have a clear-cut, a smart implementation plan. That means you must have a specific, measurable and attainable and realistic and time-bounded implementation plan is very important. And then second step is you have to choose your own LMS. So it is maybe it is according to your budget. if you are the accessibility and the service. If you are going for the cloud-based, if you do not have such type of a sufficient bandwidth, then you can go for the cloud-based learning management system solutions. There are some third-party people or service Moodle service partners are there. They will manage everything. The third stage is after setting up all these learning management system in your institution or in the cloud-based system, then you have to build and train your team. And you have to give the training for the staff and administrators to administer all the aspects of maintaining all these learning management system. And then we can give, maybe if you want, you can give the training for the students also, and how to submit the assignments, and how to attend the quiz activities, and how to participate in the discussion forums, etc. And then you can do a pilot project. Now, get the feedback from the students and also from the staff itself, and let us evaluate and refine the strategy of this implementation plan. So that is how we can implement this type of learning management system in your institution.
Yeah, sir.
Okay.
Before proceeding with the discussion, just an important piece of information for all our viewers. We are still left by the last 30 minutes in this webinar session where we are discussing about LMS security and safety concerns. Viewers, if you have any of the questions, do write to us in the comment box of NCERT Official. Our panelists would be more than happy to answer your questions. Yeah, sir. You may proceed.
Okay. So earlier I mentioned that you don't worry about the security of the Moodle, because it is constantly monitoring the source code, and there are thousands of volunteer Moodle developers are there, and they have been constantly working and monitoring the source code, and they are looking for any patches in the source code, and they are constantly they have been releasing the updates of the Moodle software is. Now in Moodle, we have certain level of user roles. There are administrators. And after that administrator, there are some managers. An administrator, maybe he has the full privilege of controlling all the aspects in this website. And there are the administrator appoint some managers to help him. And there are some course creators. That means it is just like your head of the department. They will try to create and assign the course to different teachers. And the teachers, they are the main part of this learning management system. And they will actually, they are the key person in this learning management system hierarchy, that they will design the course and they will deliver the course to the students. And if you want, you can have the roles for the parents, and the parents can monitor the grade sheet of each and every student if you want. And again, there are some provisions for allowing the guests to access the course as well. Now, if you are implementing the course, then you have to remember these things also. That means if you are implementing or using a Moodle-based learning management system, please do update your Moodle regularly on each release. Now, we have been, Moodle is, the latest version is Moodle 3.11 is, now maybe we can expect Moodle 4 in the near March itself. And another thing is, maybe if you want to secure all the pages and the course contents, then try to use the HTTP or a secure access for your website. Then secure all the pages. That is very important thing to avoid the phishing or hacking of your course pages. And try to use a strong password for the admin and teachers. Okay, and take regular backups also. So these are the things to remember while you develop a learning management system. I hope all the institution can, maybe the software is free, and it is easy to install, and you can set up a learning management system in your institution as well. And it's very easy to design a course page using Moodle compared to other type of learning management systems.
Right.
So maybe
right.
I wish all the success for all the faculties and
Thank
teachers.
you. Thank you, Dr. Asghar Ali, for the wonderful overview of how a school entity can even plan of having a Moodle-based learning and management system for their schools. And you also rightly highlighted the different security concerns and aspects that is being addressed through Moodle, and as a user what all precaution we can take. And I am happy to share that we have got very interesting many questions through this chat box. I would like to take up towards the end. So without taking any more time, I would like to straight away invite my next resource person, Dr. Viju, and I would request you to kindly wind up your discussion by exactly 15 minutes, so that we can have at least 5 minutes for this wonderful Q&A. So I welcome my next resource person, Dr. Viju, Assistant Professor, Central University of Tamil Nadu, to kindly share your presentation and deliver your presentation to the viewers. So over to you, Dr. Viju.
Yeah, Dr. Biju, we would request you to please start your presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Rajal. Now my viewers might have got details about how to prepare an account in Moodle, whether it is in cloud or whether it is downloaded system. And even Dr. Asghar Ali has given details about the security and safety concerns. Well, now the question is, how do we use Moodle, especially along with all the other concerns of teaching learning? So I would just like to share, what do we do, what do we prepare on Moodle and pedagogy? So we know there are different approaches that we have in our teaching learning. We have behaviorism, constructivism. From constructivism, we have social constructivism, constructionism, social constructionism, and critical pedagogy. So I'm not here explaining each and everything, but we know that long back we were focusing more on behavior modification of the learner, and NCF 2005 suggested to have constructivism in the classrooms, allowing our learners to construct their own knowledge. So when we allow our students to construct their own knowledge, we know that the teacher need to have a role of facilitator. Now we know our students are coming up with lots of experience, exposure and knowledge to our classroom. So slowly our teachers are becoming the co-learners. We just build the learning groups and give emphasis for social constructivism. Meanwhile, we can see when we look at the technology integrated teaching learning, where we emphasize on constructionism. As teachers, as teacher training, we know that we create different resources for the sake of our students based on the content which we need to share. So we construct learning resources, learning experiences, learning episodes, and allow the students to participate. And in fact, you may be remembering social constructionism, which is being considered as the philosophy of developing Moodle, which I have already mentioned. And also we can think of, can we have critical pedagogy in our classroom even when we bring the technology tools? We can create issue-based scenarios, content, episodes, cases, and present to the students even through Moodle. You may remember, we can upload files, we can have lesson activity. There are different activities and resources which we can have in our Moodle course. Only question is, how do we use those? How do we use maybe a video which I have uploaded? Even we can bring the critical pedagogical approach in using Moodle. And what kind of methodologies we can have? That is a very crucial question when we talk about technology-enabled teaching learning. Most of us are using technology, and even I have heard teachers do complain that I need to sacrifice my teaching style. I'm not able to address the various learning styles of my learners. So there are the paradigm shifts in terms of methodologies. We have pedagogy. We deal with the school kids. Now we know that most of our kids are not kids in their thinking in terms of their experience. Even there are students who think like an adult. So sometimes we need to bring andragogical principles. So whether we use pedagogical principles or andragogical principles, how do we organize our content? How do we organize the resources and activities in Moodle that can be taught? And when we organize these resources and activities in Moodle course page, please look at Moodle provides you a scope for defining the learning plan and learning path, which allows a learner to regulate their own learning, allowing a self-determinant learning. The student can decide when should I access this particular resource, when should I attend this particular activity, when should I maybe post a forum activity or a forum question. So slowly we can focus on allowing our learners to become autonomous or self-regulated. Thus we can say even there is a scope of bringing pedagogical principles while using Moodle. And another important pedagogical or methodology that we can focus is pedagogy. Pedagogy is nothing but the peer interaction-based teaching learning. You might have explored in Moodle, we have an option called workshop. We have an activity called workshop. This workshop allows us to create a task which can be used for assessment. In assessment, we can have self-assessment as well as peer assessment. A forum activity, a wiki activity in Moodle allows us to provide opportunity for the learners for peer interaction. And maybe put together, you can always think about the pedagogical or the methodologies which is suitable for the potential that the digital tool or the technology tools allows us. In fact, it would be better to understand, most of us follow Benjamin S. Bloom or Anderson and Krathwohl in designing our course. We have old or original taxonomy of educational objectives, we have revised taxonomy, and now literature, there are different educationists suggest, why can't we think about activities or outcomes in a digital domain, where we allow our students to work on the technology tools. So even the way you are designing your learning outcome, we can think of designing the activities to be used with the technology tools, where we can have the different levels like remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. For example, you may give a URL in Moodle course page and allow the student to explore that. And also you can ask, you can explore some other websites or web pages and please do a bookmarking. If the student is able to do a bookmarking, we can just make sure that the student is at the remembering level. Likewise, if you look at the different levels, I can ask a student to prepare a blog. I can ask a student to prepare a podcast. If the students are able to do these kind of tasks, even we can check what level of outcome they are achieving. So keep it in mind, designing the course, designing the teaching learning process, following certain aspects like approach, method, and the taxonomy would make our course more effective. So if you want to make your course more effective, I would suggest we need to have some inputs on instructional design. I am not mentioning here everybody need to have a plan. Dr. Ashkar Ali has already mentioned that yes, we need to have a smart plan. In any of the teaching learning process, we do need to have a plan. But when it comes to a technology platform, please make sure we follow any of the instructional design, because instructional design, as you know, has come up when the e-learning has become more popular. So you can have any of these instructional design. There are more instructional designs like ADDIE model, Azure model, Gagney's 9 events of instructional model, Merrill principles of instructional model, the Kemp instructional design model, Decan-Carey instructional design model. There are various. I am not putting you the stress that you need to learn all this. but at least you need to explore what these instructional designs are talking. For example, ADDIE model talks about the importance of analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. So we are preparing learning objects which are reusable. You are creating a course, you have already seen we can take the backup, we can reuse at any point of time. So any of these instructional design model inputs would help you to go for a better instructional design. And talking to the instructional design and technology tools, also the SAMR model would give you some idea how exactly I make use of the different technology tools. Moodle as an LMS, you have seen, it incorporates different tools. You can bring different tools into the Moodle platform, and you can provide, you can disseminate, you can redesign various learning tasks as well as assessment tasks. So when you select any of the technology tool, please think, am I using it for a substitution? Am I using a technology tool to augment? Am I using it for modification? Or can I use a technology tool which can be used at a redefinition level? So this also gives you more confidence at what level I am using a particular technology tool, so that your course will become more meaningful and constructive.
So, Dr. Vidhu, I would request you to finish by next 1 minute, so that we can take some Q&A.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just finish with this. Always you can think about, now we started hearing about blended learning and flipped learning. So how best I can blend, how best I can flip the classroom, whether it is an online or face-to-face classroom. I'm just leaving to you, you to think about how can I use Moodle, having all these aspects in your mind, and become a better instructional designer and make use of the Moodle as an LMS and provide a better learning and preparing our students for the future society. So I think, sir, I can stop at this point.
Yeah, thank you so much for this wonderful important aspect of pedagogical relevance of bringing in an LMS in the right context and its right use and integration in teaching learning process. So we have a variety of interesting questions. I am afraid, given the time, we will be able to take only some of these questions. The very first question here is, could LMS make a classroom scenario more flexible for students? So I would like to answer here myself, saying that yes, this is the very high potential of a learning management system, because it has many ways to facilitate a learner. For example, a learner doesn't have to bring in all the books physically carrying in her shoulder to the classroom, right? They can they can go through the teaching learning material at home at their ease, at their convenient time, and then they can have a wonderful important discussions, doubt clearance with peers, with their teachers in the classroom. So the classroom period time can be utilized in a much more fruitful way. For teachers, an LMS can save from lots of paperwork, because the learning management system itself facilitates lots of organized record keeping of learners' portfolio, including assessment, assignment, attendance, and many other aspects, right. So a learning management system has tremendous benefit. You can place different variety of teaching learning content from the same topic itself, and number of different contents, so that whichever learner has interest in whatever kind of learning style, he or she can adapt or find out resources relevant to that. You can cater to learners who have special needs for different kinds of abilities, special abilities or disabilities, whatever you call it. So you can cater to their need also, contents as well. So all these are wonderful facilities that a learning management system provides, right. So so there is this next question. Could we have a dialogue teacher-student conversation in the learning management system. So, I'd request Dr. Asghar Ali if you would like to answer this question. Does an LMS facilitate interaction between learner and student?
Yeah, definitely. We can use, there are different ways we can have a dialogue between the student and the teacher. And one is, you can use the live interactions, tools are available. One such example is, in case of a learning management system, we have the live tool available. Live video conferencing tool is available. So maybe you can use such type of tools. And yesterday I talked about the discussion forum activities. If you want to make use of an asynchronous way of dialogues, then you can use such type of discussion forums. And if you want a live, maybe a live conference or a live chat, then you can use a chat tool is plugin is available there. And another one it is you may use the type of live conference sessions.
Right, right.
That's it.
Right. There are many other questions like how do you install LMS on a device? So, I believe we had brief overview about how an LMS can be installed, but for a detailed understanding about how you as an individual can install and set up a learning management system, for example Moodle, there are wonderful documents available on Moodle sites, video documentations are there, detailed user manuals are there, I am sure you can follow. There are many YouTube videos and many other courses itself on how do you set up a learning management system using Moodle are there. So, I would really request all those users who are really encouraged and keen to set up a learning management system using Moodle or any other open source platform, please do some and devote some time in going through those user manuals and videos, and of course, you will be I am sure you will be able to set up one for you. Right. So, there is this next question like, is it possible to grade the forum activities? So, I would like any one of you to answer that question, sir.
Yeah, see, any activity in Moodle can be used for grading. That is the major advantage. So, when you just explore maybe adding a forum or a wiki, you can see that below to maybe setting up the name and description, you can see there is a grade.
Right.
Even attendance can be used for grading.
Wonderful. Thank you,
so
sir.
That is why, sir, we have resources and activities where almost all the activities where we need the students to participate, and most of the thing can be assessed.
Right, right. Thank you, sir. So, there is this next question which has been repeated also, like what all are the different broad types of questions that we can set up in a Moodle course? So, what kind of questions that Moodle facilitate for us to author? So, any one of you, sir, again.
Okay, yesterday we discussed about the different ways we can use the Moodle to conduct this type of test activities. And in quizzes, we have the different ways. Maybe you can use the questions like multiple choice, objective type test activities, and you can use them drag and drop activities. And maybe if you want, you may use the activities like interactive ways of doing the things. H5P interactive tools allows you to design the course page with an interactive way of learning the things.
Right, right. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all the three panelists for explaining it so beautifully to our viewers. Well, we had lot of comments, beautiful comments pouring in the comment section of NCERT official, and most of you are asking about the quiz link and this awaited moment that when you can access the quiz link. So the next 5 minutes, as we are just left by the 5 minutes in this session, next 5 minutes you'll get to know how you can access the link for quiz. So let's watch to the screen. All you have to do is you have to click on CIT website. So once you are here on CIT website, you can see number of options over here. So you just have to click at events, and there you can see the second last option that says workshop training. The moment you click on that and you scroll a bit down, you can see three kind of activities on this page. The first one says current activity. completed activity, upcoming activity. So under current activity from 24th January 2022 to 28th January 2022, we have the program titled as Online Training on Teaching Learning through Learning Management System. You can click here, and the moment you click here, you will get all the information about this 5 days online training and the objective of this training. And then if we scroll down, who all can participate. Now you all can participate, whether it's students, teachers, parents, educators, administrators, general public. It is open for all. The best part is how you can participate. All the details are already provided here. So the registration details are as follows. You can register yourself by clicking on the link that's visible, or there is also a QR code. You might scan the code if you want to participate. Then you can watch our all live training sessions. You can find those sessions on PM eVidya channel number 6 to 12. And besides, here are webinar sessions running from 4 PM till 5 PM on our YouTube channel, that is ncertofficial. Then participation in the post session activity, that is our quiz, and you can also receive a certificate. Let me read this out for you. If you participate in the post session quiz and if you score 70% and above, then you might receive a certificate. The post session activity will start from 5 PM today, that is 28 January 2022 till 10 PM, and it will be open till 20th February 2022. So what are you waiting for? In the next 3 minutes, the link will be uploaded and the post session quiz link will be given soon on this web page. Then the link is already there. If you scroll through our website, here is the post session link that has been updated for you. And if you want to submit your feedback regarding our online training, then here is a Google form. You may open this form and submit your feedback. Then if any of your questions are left unanswered, so you can always write to us at training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. So viewers, what are you waiting for? Here is our link of the quiz that has been updated on CIT website. So feel free to register yourself and participate in the quiz. And the best part is, if you receive over 70%, then you'll also get a certificate. And for this 5 days online training, now it has come to an end. With a heavy heart, I have to say that. But thank you to all the panelists who have joined for today's session. Thank you so much, Dr. Rizaul Karim.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you to the 2 panelists who were with us in this online training. Dr. P. Ashkar Ali, thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Biju, for connecting with NCERT.
Thank you.
I would also like to thank Dr. Ramesh, who connected with us in one of our training sessions. So it was this entire 5 days online training running on teaching learning through learning management system. If you haven't watched our sessions, then you don't have to worry. They are always available on NCERT official, that is our YouTube channel. Now viewers, it's time to say goodbye and wrap up this particular session of webinar. But stay connected with NCERT. Our upcoming session is Sahyog. Namaskar.